Welcome, everyone. We want to say thank you first and foremost for checking out this live stream, whether it's now in the middle of the day on Tuesday or whether you watch the replay in the future. We value that so much. I do want to give a gentle encouragement, a welcome. If you could, hit the thumbs up to show that you like and appreciate this video on this channel. It's a new and growing channel. Also, by the way, Nick, I don't know if you saw that number. We are up to 325 subscribers.
Wow.
Super cool. Gained about 40 in the last week.
I still can't believe that many people want to tolerate my face looking at them for an hour every week. Can't believe it.
So true. And if you guys have not figured out by now, my name is Dancy Bearded. I make beard content. I help out this company, Dr. Nick's, with marketing and insight and feedback and humor and whatever you may think. And over here is Dr. Nick himself. Nick, how are you doing?
Man, it is a new year and I'm pumped. I am pumped. 2023 is going to be an awesome year, man. I see all these posts about everyone saying like, 2022, good riddance and all this. And I'm like, man, 2022 was a good year. Like everyone's excited to get rid of that and go into this one. This one's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you've never heard me complain about 2022. It was not even measurable the best year of my life. The best year of my life. And I've had children born in other years. I've been married in other years. I've had state championships, coaching, teacher of the year. Last year was my best year of my life, and by a wide margin. And I know this year is going to top it, and I hope it does for all of you guys too. So, and a cool thing, not being a teacher anymore, I don't have to mess up writing 2023 and mistaking and writing 2022 on everybody's paper.
Look at that. Now it's like, now you have, you're only writing 2022 on stuff you can shred up like checks and bill stubs.
Yeah, absolutely. and
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet. No, I actually had to type 2023 earlier and I thought like, don't mess it up.
Right.
And hey, so far so good.
No, I nailed it for setting up my show last night. I had that all nailed out with the date. So, hey, boom, helps out there. And guys, today we're going to have a conversation. We're going to hang out. We'll probably have some laughs. We'll have some serious moments, and we encourage you to get involved in the chat. And with 2023, we do hope you guys make this the best year of your life. We do believe. Nick and I have these like deep conversations all the time, sometimes too much, too often, but you can never have enough of that. And we do believe you are in control. You're in control of having this the best year of your life. And we love seeing messages like this from Chris B. He said, Nick, thank you for the email response. Yeah, over the holidays between your email and the stream 2 weeks ago, I got the motivation to enroll in a cloud computing class.
Let's do it, dude. Right on, Chris. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, Chris reached out the week, it was the week before Christmas.
Yep.
And it was, I had a busy week, right? We were getting ready for the holidays and all that. And I had him on my calendar for Friday morning to reply back to him, let him know that I saw his email and I'd get to him later in the week. And for one of the flukes happened where I actually didn't clear my calendar on Friday before going into Saturday. And Saturday morning, I'm obsessive like this. I knew I had a couple of things pending. So it was Christmas Eve, about 8 a.m. Woke up and the house was quiet. So I went upstairs and that's where I typed out a response to Chris. We got a good dialogue going. Gave him some good feedback on what he's trying to do and kind of like what I did and what some other people I know have done in that space. And then boom. And, I think Chris and I even at some point are going to be jumping on a call to kind of go over some of this stuff and do a little further planning now that it's, settled down after the holidays. So just an example,
That's beautiful.
Not saying I can answer all questions, but man, if it's something in my wheelhouse, I will 1000% get back to you and do it. I love it. Chris, that is killer, man. Congrats.
And I do see some new names in the chat today. If you guys aren't familiar, this company is Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff. This is a beard products and just overall grooming company. But Nick has way more experience than just that. The cybersecurity world, the consulting world, the electronic development world, just a business owner, entrepreneur. He owns a woodworking company, so much. And we did a stream where it was about innovation. It was about taking chances. It was about going out and betting on yourself. And he put out an open invite. If anybody needs any inspiration, any feedback, if you want to reach out, Nick has put that out there and then proves that he actually follows up on it. So if you're someone that's like, man, I'm not happy with my job, I have thought about cybersecurity, I have thought about stuff in the technology world, man, it doesn't hurt to reach out to Nick, send him an email. And Nick, I know people can find it on the website, but what is the email for Dr. Nick's?
Oh, you can hit us up as a company at customer service at drnix.com. And Jill or I both check that box regularly. Also, if you wanted to just email me directly, it's just nphelps at drnix.com. So nphelps at drnix.com.
There we go. And I do want to welcome some people, man. We have so many amazing, supportive guys and girls out there. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Ryan M. He's been on a tear. Hello, Jill. And if you guys don't know, Jill is been on camera with us many times. And Jill is Nick's wife. She also runs the company and handles the product development, the product fulfillment, and so much down in the lab. Absolutely tearing it up, and had a busy week, which we'll talk about. But shout out to Car Bomb, Whiskey and Whiskers and Whiskey, all the way from New Hampshire. Awesome. Evan Johnson, let's go. Damien, welcome. We got Paul, Mr. X-Ray, Kevin B, Jake B. We got True North in the house. Yeah, we got Brad down in Florida. We got OG Fitzroy in Texas. Who else we got hanging out tonight? Travis, my man, just down the road in Michigan. And even closer down the road is Christopher. Realized last night, he was like, yeah, I'm from the city. It was my city. And then we started rattling names off. He's like, oh, I know Martin. Oh, I know Jay. Oh, we're going through. And
that's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a Marine. So thank you for your service, especially anybody in here. We got Judd the Stud. He said, I got Dr. Nick's in the mail moments ago. The year's off to a good start, baby.
Heck yeah.
That's what
we're
talking about.
Number 7 in the beard.
Yes, I have number 7 in beard today, too. I literally wrestled with Yule Tree in number 7, and I was like, I haven't worn number 7 in like 2 weeks. I better bring it back.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah, I'm Yule treeing it up today myself. Working through the last one that I have in my cabinet.
Nice. Hey, Viking, love the new picture. We got G Squared. He said, oh, my God, thank you, Nick, Jill, and Dan for the giveaway last week. Been loving the wash, and the scent is awesome. Also picked up the VSB oil in its super unique scent. Beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah, VSB was a fun one, man. Talk about a crazy scent to develop. Jill really had her hands full with that one, trying to get something that had like a chocolatey peanut butter kind of a scent to it, right?
Okay.
Like there's no peanut butter essential oil out there in the world.
Right.
So she had to pull out all the stops with the creativity on that one. I'm glad you like it, George.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing, guys. We don't usually super put out there about giveaways and advertise. We just like to give back to you guys. We did a random giveaway last week prompted by Jill. She was like, hey, let's throw something out there. And so you never know. You never know when something's going to happen. Hey, Brad, I've Dr. Nick's hat for my big mouth. Trust me, man. It's on the top of my wish list, literally.
Oh, it's on the top of mine. I was just we were supposed to get in last week with our printer, who has a bunch of stuff kind of starting to get in the works right down the road. Thankfully, we found a local partner finally, so we don't have to worry about all the crazy shipping losses and all the other stuff going on. And I'm such a freak with things like I'll order samples, and then you got to order more samples because you don't like those. And this way we get to go in there. It looks like we're going to be going in Thursday this week, and we're going to go in, get to touch stuff, feel stuff, look at samples, and hopefully we're going to lock in our first order this Thursday. So
perfect. I cannot wait.
We're so close.
Cannot wait. Hey, Josh, welcome in. He said, finally get to watch it live. Awesome, man. And so many of you are new to this channel, and we welcome you. We're here every Tuesday. This is episode 18. If you like this, you're like, Nick seems like a cool guy, I encourage you to go back and browse through our other episodes. We've taken tours of their lab. We've taken tours of the entire facility, the server room, the area where the cybersecurity happens. We've taken a tour of the actual woodworking facility. I know you will be blown away, and we've had some just really good discussions on the stream too. So I encourage you to go back, listen to them podcast style, whatever fits you. I think it'll be valuable for watching. And again, hello, Jim. Travis says, Dr. Nick's is going to be my next company to try. And I know Travis personally, good friend of mine, and just lives down the road from me. Travis, man, wholeheartedly, I cannot recommend them enough. I know that you will absolutely love these products. The oil is just magical, man. It's just absolutely magical. And hey, we've been asked this so many times over the last like 2 weeks. Like, it just keeps coming up. Do you have plans to do more IPA?
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, we do. I'm finally gonna stop sugarcoating it. Jill and I finally talked about it. We're gonna have some fun re-releasing and doing some other stuff, and actually that got us thinking about that as a whole. Not only will we be bringing back the IPA, like our classic beer IPA, we are gonna be playing with the idea of doing a West Coast style IPA and a New England style IPA.
Yes.
So New England style IPAs are hazy, they're citrusy, they're tropical fruit forward. Think pineapple, orange peels, peach skin, that kind of a body to it. Okay. We're going to embody something like that with a New England IPA, and then the West Coast IPA is actually more like our traditional IPA oil, which is piney and citrusy, and with lots of evergreen essential oils in there. So I think we're actually going to do one better than what people are looking for. We're going to do both. And my idea for the West or the New England style IPA is to actually work with yet another brewery. So we worked with Vitamin C to do the VSB, Beach Fire Stories. I have another brewery in mind, another good friend of mine. We've talked about it a bunch, and I think it's finally time to kick it off. And I think everyone will be really excited when you see who the brewery is, and get to read and learn about them a little bit too. So definitely coming.
Sweet. And what about colognes? Any thought for colognes in the future, solid or spray?
Literally, God, Damien, get out of our office. It's like you, everyone knows exactly what we've been talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've been talking about is, and something that we'll talk about in a couple of weeks, we have someone joining the team on a contract basis who's going to help us with some things like this. Yeah. But since obviously when you take essential oils and you expose them to as much air as you expose them to in your beard, the scent dissipates fairly quickly. And I've always been one that I like the scent for my beard oil to be something for me, right? Like, I like to put it in, I like to smell it. I don't necessarily want to walk into a room and have people know what my beard smells like. I don't want that to be what people smell when I walk in a room, and it's just not my style. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be anyone else's. I know that's the preference for a lot of people. But what I thought would be really cool is to take our signature series scent line and make a solid cologne out of each one of them. And that way, if you do like one of them and you want to smell like that a little longer throughout the day, how do we get that essential oil scent to be encapsulated in something that helps it last longer? And stay on your skin for kind of an all-day fragrance, or especially going out at night. Like, imagine being able to put on some fresh, number 9 or 18 before you go out at night, or one of the ones that might be coming up here in February that has an ingredient that Dan's been asking for a long time. That's an awfully romantic scent. Mm-hmm. So, some things coming there. But yes, I love the idea of doing little tins. I was actually looking at some really cool little magnet swing top tins. That they can have your solid colognes in there. So I think absolutely. I mean, I think that's going to be happening early on this year. We're going to be working on that really soon.
Awesome. Shout out to Rob. What's up, Rob? How you doing, man? And everyone's excited. Oh, I love a tropical IPA. The West Coast people are getting real pumped for it. And then follow up with that idea. And keep in mind, guys, this company is 100% natural. And these are the best of the best essential oils, most of them coming from Hawaii and just the great sources. So some things are limited and some things are tough. But with that said, sometimes there is a way to make things happen. Any thoughts or interest in a whiskey or bourbon type scent?
Oh, so yes, there's actually, so one of the guys that we hooked up with, the guy that owns Sims Barber Lab, the guy named Nate in Boston. Yep. His partner that owns the sister company, I guess, or maybe the breakoff brand of that Sims Barber Lab is down in Tennessee. And he has an ultra close relationship with with Jack Daniels.
Wow.
And so I've been kind of working on getting in with that guy to see if we could do something with an old barrel, like maybe do like a barrel aged beard oil where we actually take our base and age it in an old whiskey barrel and try to take on some of the wood and smoke and some of the char from the barrel, and do that kind of thing. I've always wanted to do like a really cool, instead of it getting it sent from fragrance oils, actually age it like you'd age whiskey,
Yeah.
and see if
We've
we can
talked about
impart
that.
through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some cool ideas there for sure, but that's definitely why we're chasing that relationship down, is to come up with something in that kind of whiskey
Cool.
bourbon kind of world.
Cool. Hey, Garrett, welcome in. And then kind of on the same idea, Josh says, have you tried anything from Medusa Brewing?
I have. Oh God, what did I try from them? I just tried something from them not too long back, actually, at a place that had like 1 million taps, and they didn't have what I was looking for, and they had something that looked good from them. I forget what it was. And actually, you know what? I think that was actually down at a place called Yard House in Boston, and the guy that was our bartender that night has since become a regular customer. He had a beard, got to talk to us about what he did, and it was funny. His wife reached out before Christmas, and she's like, "Hey, my husband works down at Yard House. You met him one time down there in Boston next to House of Blues." And I was thinking, I want to get him a display base, because what better way to let him take up even more space on our counter than doing it a dedicated space in the bathroom? So yeah,
that is great. And speaking of display bases, if you guys are interested, I will link them. These are designed, made in shop, made in house, and are absolutely amazing. We actually have a stream where we go through and show the CNC machine how you design it, how you come up with the whole process, and then actually saw it getting cut out and the process of it on stream. So I linked it in the chat right now, you guys. So if you are like display base, boom, right there. We have some exotic woods from black limba to the heritage cherry to heritage walnut. So good.
Oh yeah, that black limba ones. I think we only got one of those left too, and we're out of the limba, so it'll be the last one. Will be going out for those.
There you go.
And it looked like G Squared had something there too about
yeah. I'm hitting those. Yeah, clearing the alcohol ones first. But hey, Jason, awesome, man. Sounds great. And then great question by G Squared. He says, wife's looking for more of a natural body wash. What can you tell about the body wash that you guys have made, and literally the only body wash that I use?
Yeah, it's only body wash I use as well. And it after a lot of trial and error, we landed on this one. It is primarily, what's really cool about it is you could classify it as a hemp soap, because the largest concentration of oil after the aloe is hemp seed oil. And so the cool thing to note about our body wash, similar, so I don't know if everybody knows this, but like if you look at like the Castile soaps, like the liquid all natural, like Dr. Bronner's like soaps, you can take olive oil, and if you combine that with the right amount of sodium hydroxide instead of lye, what you're left with is liquid soap. Like liquid soap the soponification process. I always get that wrong.
I messed up on a word earlier. He helped.
One of those. Yeah, it was my turn. So, you can literally turn any oil into a soap. And literally all that is the removal of certain molecules that then make the soap want to bond to other oils to pull them off of your skin along with dirt. Just makes it attract oil essentially. And so our first ingredient is aloe, which is huge. I mean, find me another liquid soap out there with the primary ingredient of aloe that sells for under $60 a bottle, and I'd be very surprised. Sephora, Ulta, those kind of higher end, women's cosmetic stores, anyone in there that Jill talks to and tells them what's in our body wash and how much we sell it for, usually goes and buys some for themselves. It's a super high quality soap. I mean, it's great stuff. But the main things for me on it really are the aloe and the hemp seed oil. It's not over drying, which is nice. You're cleaning oils from your skin with natural oils, and you're kind of replenishing some good oil on top of sweat and everything else that gets stripped out. You are replenishing with some oil. So similar to our face wash, where you don't feel chapped, you don't feel dry, you don't feel red and ashy. You'll get a really similar experience from the body wash. And I will say, It's going quickly in a lot of houses because the men who buy it from us are not the only ones who are using it.
Right, for sure. And Garrett, that's exactly what he's talking about there. I know exactly what you mean, where you get that like and dries it out and you can't quite go over it. Not at all. The difference with their face wash and their body wash is they do have high quality oils as a base, and you don't see that on the cheaper versions that dry out your skin and leave it all squeaky. And that does allow it, Brad, to be a daily body wash without a doubt. And the beard wash is also a daily. And guys, a huge point here by Jill is this is a program that's already been delivered, already followed through with every single bottle you purchase of the body wash, one will be donated to the homeless shelter that's known as Friends of Boston. And so every single one will be donated. The first batch that they did just about a week ago was donated, also did a Christmas dinner, and they matched every body wash with a face wash. So it's literally the one-to-one program. If you know like Tom's and what they do with their shoes, this is that exact thing. So when you buy a bottle of body wash, you are going to be sending a bottle of body wash to a homeless shelter to get these guys feeling good, smelling good, being confident to go out and go to a job interview, to go out and be productive. That starting of your day with a good quality product that smells good, man, you it's hard to understand how uplifting that can be for someone. And Jill and Nick got to deliver it in person and got to see the reactions from these people and how excited they were. And you had said one guy ran right into he said he waited to take a shower before you guys came and then ran into the bathroom when you got there.
Yeah, that we were standing next to the front door after we said bye to everybody, and he kind of walked up and went upstairs. And as we were standing at the front door taking photos with the program director, we heard the shower kick on, and she's like, "Oh, yep, he was waiting. Yeah, he's going to work, so he was waiting for his new body wash."
Yep, that's so cool. And thank you, Rob. He says, I've never seen Dan as positively emphatic as he was on the recent Dr. Nick's video. That made me buy right away to judge for myself. And man, and Rob knows me very well for 5+ years now. I would never be that excited. I would never be that positive if I didn't fully understand lots of people are going to buy it and try it for themselves and judge for themselves. And I've never been more confident. I love these streams. I love Dr. Nick's social media because the concept of today's stream is going to be about long form transparency. There's nothing hidden here. There's no gimmicks. There's no salesmanship. There's nothing that is other than this is what it is. We would love for you guys to try it. And remember that beautiful thing, especially Rob here, there is satisfaction guaranteed on those first purchases. So if it doesn't work for you, they are going to make it right. They will 100% make this right. And we do have great topics to talk about today, guys, but you guys are having so many great comments and questions. I want to make sure we're respecting those. So feel free to not hold back whatsoever. On the same kind of concept. So we do have the daily wash. We do have the daily body wash. Are there any thoughts or plans for a bar soap that could be more of a stripping option for the beard or for the body?
Yeah. So I've been playing for like a year now. So it's interesting. I'm actually, so with Jill, obviously is scent formulation and everything, the oils, the butters, the balms, that stuff. And interestingly enough, I have some previous experience with soaps and things like that. So I've kind of like been spearheading the soap and shower product effort. And I've been playing with the idea of doing a couple of things. One is a bar soap that's an African black soap based bar soap to give it a nice kind of a good strip to it to really get, higher pH, very much a stripping kind of a bar soap. I've been playing with that, and the one difference in it, because just like someone pointed out a minute ago about how that's why I can't use, I think it was G Squared said that's why I can't use bar soap because you hate that feeling. That's where I'm at too, man. I've had people give me bar soaps. I've bought every bar soap known to man, and I just cannot find one where when I walk out of the shower and your armpits slide together or anything else, it's like you feel that squeaky kind of wet seal, wetsuit kind of feel, I guess, on the outside. It drives me nuts. And so what I was gonna do is try to do a super fatted bar soap out of shea with the African black soap, and it should give us a really nice texture. But if it's super fatted, meaning that you leave some residual oil from the saponification process, it should eliminate that problem of having that squeaky feel while still being nice and stripping. Agreed. So I am working on that.
Heck yeah.
Out on the trail.
Absolutely. And here's some pictures, guys, from the drop off. There'll be some more content coming from it on the Dr. Nick's Instagram and Facebook. So make sure you guys check those ones out. But yeah, I was able to deliver to the homeless shelter. So this stuff is really actually making a difference, and it really is amazing for your skin. Ryan says, hey man, I live in Arizona. I struggle with dry skin and being an avid distance runner, like legit distance runner too, guys. And he says that it makes his skin feel smooth and nourished. And so he said it's all that he'll ever use now. That's
right
beautiful.
on.
Beautiful.
And just, you mentioned it. Chris, yes, we are going to be doing other display bases. And oddly enough, someone reached out to me with a really cool little customizer tool that works with our e-commerce platform. And I'm still figuring out the logistics of this one. It would be a 5 to 10 business day lead time. But what my idea for this was to actually make it where you could lay out your own display base. So you could pick the products you want the display base to hold, and it'll be, 5 to 10 day lead time, and it'll ship out of the wood you want with the spaces to hold whatever products you want in the order that you want. So being able to customize those would be huge.
So cool.
That'd be super fun.
That would be perfect. And Haley says, amazing smell without the irritation. I agree. You guys know I'm the biggest fan of number 7 in the world, and it just works so perfect for the wash and the face wash, man. It is awesome. Yeah, absolutely awesome.
That's a perfect example of it, just not just being for men either. I know Haley uses that in her hair. She uses the oil on her skin, the butter, so it's huge.
For sure. And Chris was like, yeah, when I watched the video, I couldn't even wait. I want as many people as possible to get to know this great company. So
dude,
cool.
And on that note, Chris, and everyone here that left a comment on Dan's video last week, like, just thank you guys so much. I mean, you have no idea how impactful that is. I mean, it's huge. I was reading those comments live as they were coming out. I was watching them, and I just can't believe that we've earned the privilege of you guys just speaking so highly of us. I mean, that's just a humble moment here for me. Like, never in a million years have I done anything or thought that I would do anything where people say those sorts of things about you doing it. Like, most of the jobs I've done in my career, if you do your job well, no one knows that you've done it at all. And anyone that's here in technology knows that's the case. I've never had feedback on any business I've owned like this. And honestly, last week blew me away. I have no words to describe how much that meant, hearing that feedback from you guys, and just you guys showing other people and voicing it for us. And it's insanely impactful. You'll never know how impactful that is. And we just appreciate it so much.
Yeah, and Nick had no idea the video was coming. I actually sent a message the night before saying, hey, video drop in the morning. He messaged me yesterday, and it was like, video drop? Are you sure? Like, I don't know if we can handle this rush right now. I'm like, Nick, that was from last week. Like, I tried to give you the heads up that it was coming last week. So he didn't even know. And
it's so funny.
This was even before this too. And I think Nick will know where I'm going because we've had a conversation on this. Just like anybody else, Nick has ups and downs with his days. He's had some medical, like, big news recently with some operations he's going to have, and just, family can have health concerns, and just stuff in life can try to bring you down. Nick, if you remember this conversation, what did you tell me you do on days that you're struggling, you have a rough day?
I mean, so I go and read comments on Instagram and YouTube. I mean, It honestly has turned into therapy. Like, if I have a day where I feel like I'm not doing, things aren't going the way I want, I'm just having one of those days, you always look for something to cheer you up or to just make you feel better. And I used to have lots of terrible ways to do that. And now I have a very productive way of doing that, which is going to read feedback from you guys. Like, if it's immediately uplifting. I mean, how can you not feel good after reading people talk the way that you guys speak so highly of us? How could that not turn your day around?
So cool. And Chris, man, reach out to me if you want help with scents and products and stuff, man. It was awesome. Like I said, just randomly found out he's down the road. So I'm like, that's so dang cool, man.
Yeah. Tell him to come over. You crack open a couple bottles for him at home.
Right. Yeah, little in-person taste testing, smell
Yeah.
testing. Brad, there are some things coming, man. Stay tuned. We've kind of alluded to it a little bit. Possibly some hand custom-made combs. Who knows
Mhm.
where the brushes will go in the future? But yeah, realize, man, it's going to be there. Yeah, it
Oh
is
yeah.
going to be
The
there.
combs are coming. I already got some really cool woods downstairs just for it too.
Mm-hmm.
So some interesting stuff coming there. The thing about those is that I want it to be consistent, duplicatable, in on brand with what we do and
Right.
high quality.
Yep.
And so I've made some samples and I haven't liked them. And so I'm figuring out some new methods of doing a couple of pieces of it. And you guys know me, until it's perfect, no one will see it. But it's coming.
There we go. And he is an engineer mind, in case you guys are wondering. So he does mean that.
Yeah.
But display bases, any thoughts or ideas to having tiered ones, to have like a layered display?
Yeah, like I was thinking, like stadium seating style, right? Where you kind of have like a couple of tiers stacking down, or maybe even some little pillars kind of holding up tiers, so that you can make use of some vertical space. And we were thinking about doing those as generic stands, where it would just be like a little stack of like a little 3-unit shelf where it can hold a brush, some butters, some oils, and other stuff you might have, your daily users that you have in rotation heavily. Keep them out on display, nice place for them. I'd also played with the idea of making those tabletop and also making them wall mountable.
Awesome. And yeah, Jason, I loved the little touches on the labels, which kind of goes against Nick's personality. Nick likes to have everything kind of uniform and in place and weeks of planning on stuff. But
Oh
I
yeah,
think this was able to show his creative side and bring a little bit of small touches, but cool touches.
yeah. Jill had to fight for that one a little bit, but I'm glad
Yeah.
she did.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Jill and maybe me rubbed off a little bit there to kind of ease down, but I thought it was amazing. I really, really did. And Jill's killing it in the chat as always. Sean asked about a facial moisturizer, and Jill said playing with some new fun ingredients for the moisturizer right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we are. We were actually even looking at some packaging for some of those things. One of the things we're thinking about is a spot treatment, where if you get a really irritated spot, or you come into contact with something, or something, just angers the skin under your beard for one reason or another. You know what I mean? Like once in a while you'll get like a spot on
Oh
your chin,
yeah.
or something
I'm
over here.
excited for these.
Yeah,
Got a couple
like a
things.
spot treatment, a couple other things coming there. Yeah, I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah.
excited.
Yeah, Garrett, we actually talked about it earlier. They are going in this week to a local vendor. Maybe on Thursday is the tentative plan. So
Yep.
soon. Actually, the wheels are turning. So it's going
So
to get
soon.
going here.
It's at the
Tim said
top of my list, and it's going to stay there till it's done. I got to get other stuff on that list, so that's got to go.
you got to rephrase that. It's on the top of your list until it's on the top of my head.
That's it. I love it. Love it.
When we launch hats, that'll be the title of the stream.
Yep.
And,
off the
Tim,
list and onto the head.
Yep. Tim's local to you. He said definitely got to try him out now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Tim, let us know where you are, man.
Yeah. And G Squared said, just want to say your customer service was awesome as well. I won the giveaway, but wanted to buy an oil before you shipped. Jill made it so easy. I was also shocked how quickly it arrived. Everyone keeps saying that about the shipping.
Yeah, where Jill is, I don't want to use the word obsessive, but I will. She is obsessive about getting things out as quickly as humanly possible. And if something can't go out, if your order gets in before noon on a certain day, your order will ship that day. Like if it comes in between noon and noon, it'll ship right after that next afternoon. And so when USPS does their job and doesn't either lose the package or just not send it, which definitely happens. We can't control that much as we love to do everything in house. We can't have our own in-house postal service that we control. So, but no, that's awesome to hear that you guys are having a good experience with that. Love it.
Good. And we will be talking about some shipping topics and possibly updates next week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And Tim is in Everett, right next to the casino.
Oh, nice. Right on, man. Very cool.
And then with those displays, Kevin wants some clarification. Are you thinking that it's modular stacks or something like that?
Ooh, I do kind of like the stack idea. That's kind of cool, where you could kind of like pick what you wanted to add. Either have a single tier, 2-tier, and then add on to it. I actually really like that idea. I didn't think about that until just now, but now I am.
There we go. And going with the concept of long form transparency, which is what this stream is all about always, the padding on the inside, the protective paper, the eco-friendly, what is that?
It's this really cool cross-cut crinkle paper where it comes in a roll and it's all tightly wound, really flat. And then when you cut it, you pull on each corner. And when you pull on the corners, it takes the flat paper and it takes all the, it takes each little strip and it turns it sideways. So it creates this little waffle, almost kind of a print in a piece of paper, and you can wrap stuff in it. And we discovered that stuff, and it's just so much better for the environment than bubble wrap or anything like that. So the stuff is, it's really similar to that stuff, really, really similar. And we found it in black, which was really cool too. So it matches our packaging and our aesthetic. But we are going to continue using that stuff because it's worked out really, really nicely, and we've had no breakage. We very rarely have breakage because our bottles are thick. You could put one of these things in a sock and use it as a self-defense weapon. Those things are heavy, but once in a while you get an aggressive USPS guy that thinks he's landing a touchdown or something and spikes it onto your front porch. Who knows?
We've seen the Ring videos.
Oh yeah, that's it, man. Like Terry Tate, office linebacker, all over again.
Oh yeah. And Donald said, just got back from a 2-week vacation. Awesome vacation down in the Keys. Said I only brought Amazing Man stuff, butter, unscented oil, and body wash. Beard was fantastic the entire time.
Woo! Down in the salt and the sun and the water and all that too, and the humidity. Man, that is awesome to hear. That is so great.
Cool. So cool. Thank you.
And speaking of that note, I had some people write us and ask about how to travel with stuff, and asking, about the balms. Just to answer it here, they're asking if we were going to come up with a smaller version of the balm, and we are. We're going to be releasing a 2-ounce version of the balm, of the butter. And so that'll be on the site as soon as we get packaging and labeling for that. Someone also asked, can you put the fluid volume on the butter so that I can travel with it? And the answer to that, unfortunately, is no, because the butter is solid. We have to do it by weight. Legally, we can't say volumes. So we can't do that, unfortunately, but we will solve that problem by putting it in a 2-ounce tub, which is totally travel compliant.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's awesome. And that's stuff that's on their mind for sure. And possibly some plans for some of the other products and some travel size things coming in the future too. So stay tuned, guys. A lot of stuff on the docket. So yeah, I'm very, very, very excited here. So, hey, great questions and topics, guys. Nick, it's already almost 40 minutes in, which is absurd. That's crazy. But today we wanted to talk about a term. I just said this term a couple of weeks ago when thinking about how this company operates, and I really like it. I don't know if anybody said it before me, but I'm going to take credit for thinking of it and saying, because I really think it's perfect when it explains a great business approach, and it is long form transparency. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of it in a bit here. But Nick, to you, what does that term mean, and what does it mean for Dr. Nix?
So, long form in my mind. So when you said it, it's interesting. So Dan did coin this term. I had no idea. And what's interesting is when he said it, and I immediately knew what he meant by it. Yeah. I figured it was a term that I had just never heard. And it stood for exactly what we did. And I was like, oh, long form transparency. And, you got the short form and long form version of everything. And I imagine Dan, coming from the bureaucratic world of teaching, that's where that probably was in your head, is that it's like the longhand, long form. Yep. And the way I look at it is really the long form of doing something is the detail oriented way of doing anything, is the long form way of doing anything. And also, I think it's not taking the shortest path to the end point, but taking the most deliberate and most detailed path to get to where you're going would be the long form version of doing anything. And so what long form transparency means to me is not just being transparent, like answering a question honestly when someone asks it to you, or when someone asks how something is made, telling them. I think long form transparency is going out of your way to pull back the curtains in such a way that you're answering questions people are going to have before they ask them. And you're going out of your way to take the long path to showing everybody exactly how you do what you do and why you do things the way that you do. The short form way of that, again, would be answering questions honestly, or when a topic comes up, addressing it transparently, right? But again, I think the long form way of doing that is actually taking the time and the thought to come up with what people might want to know and putting it in front of them, and then having discussions about it, and letting people make up their own minds and come up with their own questions based on what you have shown them already. And to me, that's really what long form transparency is. I think this stream is a demonstration of long form transparency. The things that we've been doing, I think, embody that.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Right. I think of it as short form content versus long form content.
Right.
Short form is a post on Instagram, a post on Facebook, a quick video on TikTok. That's short form. And you can get the message, whether you say, hey, we have this new packaging. Boom, you put it out there. Hey, we have this new policy. Boom, you put it out there. That's transparent. That's true. That's honest. The next step, long form, is doing an hour-long live stream dedicated to that topic and talking about it. It's being available at all times to be able to talk about it. I believe the more that you're out there, the harder it is to fake and hold anything back. So when you stream a lot, when you're posting a lot, when you're doing longer content, people can really start to feel and see and hear. And it makes a big difference. And I've always been one to respect the viewer and the consumer. I've always been one to say they know what they hear. They know what they feel. They know what they see. They're not dumb. These are smart people. And so one of the best ways you can approach it is by having that complete long form transparency. And this stream was an idea, again, I'm not trying to be braggadocious or anything, but that I birthed when coming up with some plans with Dr. Nix. And I was like, knowing Nick, knowing Jill, knowing this company, this stream has to happen. This stream has to be a priority. And I loved the title, Doctor's Orders, kind of playing on the name, but also going over everything that this company's about. And again, to be real, I didn't ever know of any companies that had a consistent weekly live stream that literally opened up the curtains and showed you behind the scenes, not just talk, actually showed you, takes a camera into the lab, into their facility, into the packaging, and actually shows you and does it week after week. That's about as long form as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
But with that, there are pros and cons to it, right? Nobody else has done this before us, because there are some pros and there are some cons. And I want to start with the cons real quick, and then we'll kick it to Nick to reflect on those, and then he'll take away the pros of it. And I think a lot of you probably know the pros. But the cons of this is, if you guys watch this, there are times where I sit back and I almost like shake my head, and I'm almost like, Nick, stop. And I've caught myself before where I'm like telling Nick, like, hey, stop, buddy. You're telling too much, man. You're giving away the secret sauce. He said something that like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, even today when he was talking about a little spot treatment, he's going in, I'm like, that's
not out yet.
Because I've seen people in companies get burnt. On my side, I'm a content creator. I've had live streams like this, and I say, like, an idea will come up, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a great video idea. Guys, that's going to be my video on Wednesday. And then magically someone makes the same video topic on Tuesday and tries to jump the gun.
That.
And so my long form transparency, and let me get my thoughts out here clearly, you guys. My long form transparency, I thought was really hurting me. I thought that I was taking a hit by sharing too much, and that people were copying it. People were being actually like insidious with their intentions of jumping my video and jumping that concept. And the same thing happens with companies. When you share what's coming next, when you share the process that you're doing, when you share something that's innovative, somebody's going to hear, somebody's going to take that, and somebody's going to use that. And that can burn, that can hurt. You put in the work, you put in the creativity, and then somebody's going to be lazy and just jump on that. That's what stops a lot of companies from doing this. That's what holds a lot of companies back from really being transparent and really sharing. And it is interesting, once you get that hat on and you start seeing it, you see owners and you see creators and you see humans in general that are very guarded because they're afraid someone's going to steal that concept, that idea, that thing. And to be, again, real, working with Nick has kind of helped me realize that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's not necessarily something to really worry about. So with that idea, that concept of the cons of long form transparency, Why is that something that you, more than I've ever seen before, have not really concerned yourself with? You're not worried about companies taking ideas, because they have. I mean, just to be
Oh
raw and
yeah.
real, and some of you will notice and some of you will see it. You guys aren't dumb. You'll say, oh, Dr. Nix has done that for a long time. You're announcing this new thing? Oh, interesting. Oh, Dr. Nix also did that. You're also announcing that new thing? Oh, interesting. Why is that not? And this is real too, guys. This is not something that's just talk. Why
Oh
is
yeah.
that never concerned you, Nick? Why is that not a con in your eyes?
It's well, I could be coy about that and say that the wolves don't lose sleep over the opinions of the sheep.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but honestly, you have to think about. So I guess the way I look at it is, imitation is the best form of flattery. Often imitated, never duplicated, is my opinion, right? And I also think a lot of people fall into the trap of not thinking about the third piece of a very common phrase, which is that if you're following, you're never going to lead. That's the first 2 points, right? The third point that I think gets lost is that if you're afraid of people following you, you'll never be a true leader.
Mm.
Okay. So if you let that sink in for a second, because I missed that third step for a long time.
Me too.
And coming from the technology world, I'm used to people eating my lunch, right? Someone has more money and more market share than you, they're going to take an idea that you pitch and they're going to go do it. And it's happened to me a lot. It's happened to me a number of times. And it stung when that happened. But then all of a sudden I started realizing that what you're doing is you're disrupting, right? I mean, if you're coming in the technology world, you're trying to come up with disruptive technology, right? That's what people are out there doing in the technology world. And if people want to watch what we're doing here and they want to do it, one, I think we're doing the right thing here. And if people want to then see our and take that and do the same thing, I feel at that point that I'm not being copied. I don't feel like that at all. I feel like I'm leading by example, right? And that I think it's a perception change. I don't feel like anyone's copying me. I don't feel like anyone is doing what I do because they're going to try to take away from me what I've gained doing what I'm doing. I take that as, wow, I must be doing something so right that other people feel obligated to do it too for their customers.
Man,
And
say that one more time.
I think if people see what we're doing the right thing. And if people want to do it as well, that means I'm being a good influence and people they feel obligated to start doing what they think is right or what they see that we're doing is right. And I think that's huge, man. I take it as a huge compliment, to be honest with you. I am transparent about what we do because I feel like we do it better than anybody else in the way that we do it. And if someone else wants to try to improve their processes by kind of leaning into what we're doing with ours, hey, more power to them. And it's not to say that we haven't gotten ideas from the past. I mean, we're people are collaborative, perceptive people, right? We take in things and we manipulate them in our head and they turn into ideas and thoughts. But no, I don't concern myself with that at all, man. I'm going to keep being transparent and I'm going to keep letting people do what we do. And it's just more validation for me knowing that what we're doing is right. It's impactful, it's disruptive, and more importantly, it's the right thing to do. So if I need to lead by example and other people are going to follow us doing it, hey, more power to them, more power to me.
Love that. And I would say the only other cons of true long form transparency is the commitment to consistency. It's not an easy thing to do. Most people don't have any concept of how hard it is to be consistent at something like this. And it's not just consistent every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. It's answering every message. It's staying consistent with the post. It's staying consistent with the message, staying consistent with the brand. Because you can do a stream and talk about all these things, but if the actions behind the scenes don't match what you're saying, that's not long form transparency. That's long form conspiracy. That's long form like hiding, right? That's not real. So to stay consistent and stay true to it, that can be seen as a con because it's like, I don't want to put myself out there, then I have to stay with that. But once you realize the value and once you realize how much you actually enjoy it and how good it feels to help and to get that out there, it's really not a con at all. But in that same thought of that, we really value this stream. We really value this concept. And we believe that building this company is more about doing it as a lifestyle brand, as something you guys can really get into rather than just selling products. So with the concept of long form transparency, just in your mind, what are the pros of it? What is the actual real benefit, even below just the surface level thoughts on this? How is this a beneficial pro to what you guys do?
I mean, honestly, if I had to sum it up, I think in one point, I mean, there's so many benefits, right? I mean, the community that we're building here, I mean, speaks volumes for what the benefits are. But I guess if if I had to give one answer to it, I'd say that it humanizes our brand. I mean, it honestly, right? I mean, we're all, we're all here together, right? We're all humans. People make relationships with humans, not with products. And I didn't want to just be a product company. I wanted people to have a relationship with us, and I wanted to turn Dr. Nick's into a lifestyle, which is, doing things the right way and going back to the way that things used to be done, which was the hard way and the long way sometimes. And I think it is a lifestyle, amazing, we make amazing stuff for amazing people. And that's the branding that I always wanted to stick with. And I think the more you can humanize a brand or a product and really show the people behind it, if those people are good
Right.
people doing the right things for the right reasons, right? It's wouldn't be good for every brand, I can tell you that much. But I think in our case, it is. I mean, it's for the longest time, and until Dan told me this, I didn't really, I honestly didn't even understand what people were telling me. We worked with some marketing companies, and they say, what kind of, what do we need to put in front of people, and this and that, and what do we do? And what really got me is they say, well, I mean, I had people tell me once in a while, like, well, you don't need content created for you. Like, you're the content, you're the face of Dr. Nick's. Like, you need to be the face of Dr. Nick's, not a marketing company.
Yes.
And then when I finally started working with you, Dan, you really drove that home, and you said, well, all we need to really do, I think, to get this brand out there is to get you out there and get you talking to people. And I said, really? Why the hell would people want to hear from me?
It was immediate.
I had no idea that would be as impactful as it was.
And so to give you guys like more transparency, long form, how long ago? 2.5 years ago? When did you guys reach out for the review for the first time?
Oh God, over a year ago. Yeah, okay, about a year and a half ago, probably.
Year and a half ago, reach out. Now, to give you more transparency, I get 2 to 3 companies that contact me every single day. Today, I've had like 6. It's just what happens. It's just the industry. Most of them aren't serious. There's a process involved. There's a fee involved. There's all sorts of things that are involved that are necessary, right? There's no way I can say yes to 6 companies a day. It's literally not possible. So I have to sort through them. Okay, June 2021, so a year and a half ago, exactly. Awesome. And so they reached out, and I didn't know anything about Dr. Nick. So for me, they were just another company in an email. And Nick was very smart and said, hey, can we, and this was even before like the review concept, can we set up a consultation? I know that you do consultation with companies. I'm like, sure. And all I knew was the website. That was it. And we get into this consultation, and I was just like, whoa, like this guy needs to get out there. Like this is the difference. This is the Dr. Nick's difference right here. And that was before I tried the products. And I really feel like this quote is true. My mom always told me this, and I've said it many, many times. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. And I really mean that. The way I do my live streams, the way I do my videos, the way I am as a father, the way I am as a husband, the way I am as a friend, I believe the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And the way that Nick approached that, I was blown away. Then I tried the products. I was even more blown away. Then I gave them feedback and said, hey, think about adjusting this. And they took it and used it. And I was blown away. And then I started working with them and helping with marketing and doing these things. And it was the simplest thing ever. It wasn't like, what image do we need to put out there? What brand focus? It was like, let me put out Jill and Nick. That's it. Let me show you guys behind the scenes. Let me help get this out there. That's the simplest thing in the world. We met for about 20 minutes before the stream started. We talked for about 5, and we planned the next couple of weeks of streams because it's that easy. It's that simple to come up with a topic when it's real.
It is.
And so Nick was, again, kind of hesitant, as some owners are, where it's like, me? Like, you want me as a brand? I'm like, yes. And I bug Nick a ton, and I need to bug him more, and Jill. And I'm like, I need pictures and videos of you and Jill. And it's like, more, please. More, please. Because I want to get them out there. That's how important it is for me. The products, once people get them, they're going to know. They're going to feel that difference. But if they can get to know the company behind the scenes, yeah, the trust is built. The understanding is built. There's no surprises. You get stuff and you're like, oh, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And that can only happen with long form transparency.
Yeah, you're dead on, man. And you're so right. Is that it? I mean, I think a lot of people that are out there on YouTube or, doing things that are, in front of a camera had the idea that they would be valuable in front of a camera, right? And this is quite the opposite with us.
Yeah, it's true.
It took a lot of convincing from Dan and from Jill and from others to get me to the point where I was comfortable doing it. And one, it wasn't so much not being comfortable in front of the camera. I only like to do things that add value and matter. And I wasn't sure that how it would be perceived, I guess. Right. I didn't know how valuable it would be, but then, we see people even in here on these live streams. Some people are in these live streams every week that have still yet to try our products. They just like coming and they like the community, like hanging out.
And that's great.
We welcome them and it's awesome. And we listen to their feedback, input on it, whether they've tried it or not. And I think, it's kind of flipped the relationship a bit. I think usually you find a product you like, you buy it, and then you start maybe appreciating the company you buy it from. And I feel like this has made it to where people go into that calculation in the reverse order, where they know us, they know what we're about, they know what we do, they know me, they know Jill, and then they try our products. And what a different relationship that is, right? Because then when someone reaches out to us, they're reaching out to a friend, right? They're reaching out to someone they know and that they've listened to, they've seen on camera. It's not going into some black hole at a customer service email box at some big company or a drop shipper. It's different.
Yeah,
and I think other people have picked up on that too, right?
Yeah,
people kind of picked up the customer service game, and they've picked up some other stuff based on, I think, things that are flying around about us. Which again, I'll take it. If we're giving other people better experiences with other companies based on what we do here with you and ours, I mean, hey, that's great.
Beautiful. Real quick side tangent. Whiskers and Whiskey says between 9 and 18, the feedback so far is you have where'd this go? 9. 9. So I think 9's going to be your answer there, sir.
Yeah. I would say that 18 and, talk about long form transparency. No one that's in a marketing situation would ever say this. I feel like number 18 is a love it or hate it kind of a scent, right? Maybe not hate it, but I mean, it's either it's for you or it's not, right? So if people are trying something for the first time, oftentimes I'll have them add that in with something, or, maybe not try that as the standalone oil that they get. But man, the people who love 18 and do not want it to go anywhere.
And I would say feedback on both of those. Not 9 is more natural smelling. 18 is more cologne, even though they're both 100% natural. Let me be very clear there. 18 is more on the cologne side of things, and 9 is more on the natural side of things.
Yeah. I'd say you're dead on there. And I love number 9. Like we were doing some stuff with the number 9 essential oils yesterday, and it's just, you can smell it when you walk in the room. It's like, man, that's good.
For sure. And guys, man, please don't underestimate the value of your feedback, the value of your support. It means a lot to everybody involved. And Donald says the interaction, transparency, and how things are done with this company is what made me purchase the products from Amazing Man Stuff. Hearing Nick and Jill's passion of what they do is a huge influence.
That's awesome.
Ryan says these Tuesdays make my whole week. Love that, man. Love
you make
that.
Our whole week, Ryan.
Yep. And yeah, this is far beyond a sale. There's so many things that Dr. Nix does that's not by the textbooks that they would get yelled at for, that investors would go crazy about, but they know and speaking of long form transparency, they know the long form game, right? They're in this for the long haul. It's not about making a profit this week. It's not about that. It's about doing the right things and things like this. Chris says, I love that I can send an Instagram message and get an actual response from a real person. Facts.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely. We had someone reach out and ask, oh God, something you just said reminded me of something, but oh well, we'll go to this next one next because I forgot.
Yeah. So Jim says, if you're in touch with Vitamin C, tell them we had a few of their double IPAs over the weekend. Great stuff. And I would have never found out without doctor's orders. So thank you. Jill, you got to take a screenshot of that and send it over to Dino.
I'm gonna take that right now. Actually, I'm gonna send that over to him right as we're on here. I'm gonna send that straight to the owner of Vitamin C. He will love seeing that.
Did you get
which will definitely make our springtime release with them for an IPA much easier to kind of volley that one out there. I want to do another one with them, but go on the citrusy side of stuff with them instead of the stout.
Well, Nick, it's 159.
How?
That's silly. Downright silly. And before I let Nick take it home, you guys, I would love for you guys to just simply hit a thumbs up on the way out. This is a growing channel. This is a passionate channel that's fueling this company. And hopefully just hearing this stuff, you realize like, whoa, that is long form transparency. That is what this company is doing. And the more that you support this YouTube channel, the more it's going to support that concept. Who knows? Maybe that bleeds over to other companies and improves the industry as a whole. You never know what leading by example can do and what those ripple effects are. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I have so many friends and family in here, and it just makes it special. Just makes it a fun place, an enjoyable hangout, a highlight of my Tuesday. So kick it over. Nick, final words for the people.
Oh man, I will give one final word to a comment and then I will close this out. I saw someone said that the 18 was out of stock, so they didn't get to try it. It just went out of stock. It'll be back in stock, ready to ship by next Tuesday. And we will, I think, based on the demand, send out an email to everyone that's a customer, just letting people know. And then we'll also throw something on Instagram so you guys can see that there as well. But again, just like every week, man, if people here say this video is, this live stream is the highlight of their week, you guys are the highlight of our week every single week. And the things, again, I'll say it again, the comments you left about us and the things that you said about us and how highly you spoke of us last week in the comments on Dan's video about us, just it made New Year's feel like the best New Year's ever, because it just felt like we were going to be getting more of that in 2023. So thank you guys so much. We'll send you off. We'll see you again next week. And just thanks for all the support. Love you guys.
All right, guys. See you Tuesday.